Phil, LeBron James is opting in to his nearly $53 million player option for
This is why opting in to your contract doesn't necessarily mean everything it sounds like it says, because why would the agent, Wendy, put out a statement like that if it was that simple? Take us through what this all means.
You know, I usually try to spare the listeners, the viewers of this podcast with Lakers content, right? Like I try to not talk much about the Lakers if at all possible. I think I've done very, very little content on the Lakers. And the main reason behind that is because there's enough coverage on that team. For my whole life, that team has been covered whether they suck or whether they're good, whether they're mediocre, right? They get all the content. They get all the talks, whether it's on ESPN or anywhere else. So it's not a team that I particularly want to make content for because I feel like other teams deserve more shine, right? Now, I see a post about LeBron. I see him obviously make a comment and, about the Rich Paul stuff, which I'm going to post here as well. So I see this post about LeBron. It's a Shams report. There's this message sent out by LeBron and his camp that they don't feel confident, right? I'm not looking at it right now, but basically it's along the lines of LeBron doesn't feel confident in the direction of the team and in the capabilities of the roster being able to contend for a championship. Now, this comes after he picks up his $52.6 million player option. I think it's a little hypocritical, very hypocritical, actually. I remember years ago, towards the tail end of the Kobe years, which, by the way, were not as good as the LeBron years, the later end of the LeBron years. And Kobe, obviously, he had the torn rotator cuff, he had the knee injury, he had the torn Achilles. He was breaking down towards the end of his career, and LeBron has just aged like fine wine. This dude is he's still all NBA, second team, third team, whatever it is, and he's still one of the top 10 players in the NBA. You can argue with a wall. That's facts, okay? And the production. I mean, he's still putting up his MVP numbers to this day, which is just insane. Kobe takes that big contract that the Lakers, it's a different scenario because he gave everything to the Lakers. He played 20 years for the Lakers. And this was a way of the Lakers saying, you know what, man? We want you to retire here, obviously. And it shows future stars that you treat your historic franchise players with respect and you pay them and you keep them. And, that's really not the norm these days. A lot of player movement and a lot of guys just don't retire where they got drafted. Kobe is one of the very few that was able to achieve that. So it's a different scenario, but it is still similar. Kobe, you take this money and we're not going to be able to help you. I mean, it's going to be vet minimums. It's going to be who wants to take a pay cut. And it's going to be who's going to play second fiddle to the Kobe show, right? And an older Kobe that is also breaking down, right? And there's that spotlight where the fans are delusional, right? Like there's a lot of delusional fans out there at the time that were like, this is Kobe's team and that's just how it was going to be. Kobe was entering some seriously. I mean, he was already an inefficient player throughout his career from a shooting split standpoint. A lot of that is era. A lot of that is just his shot selection and things like that. But, players around the league are thinking, man, that's a fishbowl that I don't want to be a part of. You're in Kobe's shadow, and every game that you lose, it's on you and it's not on Kobe. Right. So that was something that was also following LeBron a little bit, right? Like there's a lot of players that don't like that spotlight. If you're losing, it's your fault and LeBron needs more help. If they're winning, it's because LeBron is so great and he makes everyone better around him. It's that constant thing that follows some of these all-time greats. And look, man, when you pick up a $52.6 million option, you're not going to allow the space for a team to get much help. Right? It's just not going to happen. And when you do things like that, it has a domino effect amongst the rest of the players that want to get paid as well. Like you have an Austin Reeves who declined the player option, right? Like he's like, no, I'm going to get paid now, right? I think Austin Reeves had taken a cheaper deal. He was working out with the Lakers and he came back on a lesser deal that other teams could have definitely paid more for if he wanted to do it. And now this is a way of either the Lakers and Austin Reeves are going to work something out. I mean, you could just bank on that. Like, there's no way the Lakers are going to let Austin Reeves walk for nothing. I fully expect Austin Reeves to sign a deal with the Lakers, and they're either going to keep him or they're going to move him, right? Like this is going to be either a sign and trade or they're just going to keep Reeves. If you're uncertain about the roster, and I'm talking about LeBron now, why would you make this money move? Why would you pick up this option knowing you're going to hinder the ability to construct the roster and help a little more, right? So now they're going to have to pay Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith. He declined his player option, which is something you expected, right? There's going to be a lot of teams that are interested in Dorian Finney-Smith, right? And JJ Redick, he definitely, I know that he wants to bring that guy back. And the Lakers are going to have to compete with other teams. I heard a rumor swirling around that the Rockets are interested in Dorian Finney-Smith. That would be an excellent fit. They need a Dorian Finney-Smith. They need to improve the roster in terms of shooting. So that's a guy that can really help right away, whether he starts or he comes off the bench. You know, the Lakers are going to have some serious issues when it comes to that. There was some crazy news with DeAndre Ayton. He gets bought out by the Portland Trail Blazers, and it's just the ultimate, like, nobody wants you in any deals that we're trying, and we have no choice but to basically buy you out. That's what happens with all the players that get bought out. There's just no market for them because of the money they're being paid, or, you know, because of, you know, the production of the player. Maybe teams don't believe in it or believe in him, and all of a sudden the team has to buy a guy out and lose the asset for nothing, lose the player for nothing. So, you know, that sucks for Portland, but you know what? It is what it is. Sometimes you just take L's when you make trades for players. So it is what it is. But that is definitely a target, assuming that LeBron doesn't get traded, because there's a lot of rumors regarding that now. I've heard some Cavs stuff. You know, maybe he returns to Cleveland on a farewell tour where he can contend for a championship. The East is more wide open than it was this season. I mean, this upcoming season, with the Celtics looking like they're changing up everything right now because they're anticipating a down year without Tatum. You're hearing Jaylen Brown rumors, Derek White rumors. Obviously, KP and Drew Holiday are gone. The Indiana Pacers without Halliburton, they're still going to be a good team. You best believe that. I mean, Rick Carlisle, we know what he can do with a team that people are down on or people don't believe in. So definitely don't sleep on them, though you can definitely assume if you're the Cavs, we're not worried about the Pacers this year. You know, and they should be, right? They beat them. Either way, you know, you're confident going into this year. Then you're looking at the Bucks. Damian Lillard coming off the torn Achilles. You don't know what's going on with Giannis. There's really not much available in terms of being able to improve the roster from the Milwaukee Bucks standpoint, right? So you're also looking at that. So that's something that, you know, maybe Cleveland pulls the trigger, does some kind of crazy LeBron trade. There's also a Dallas Mavericks weird trade with LeBron that I've read around, you know, reuniting LeBron with Kyrie and Anthony Davis. Obviously, it's going to probably, if that happens, the kind of trade that it's going to be, it'll probably turn the Lakers into Mavs 2.0, right? Where we see like PJ Washington and Gafford alongside Luka, and we know the limitations of that, right? Like we know the successes of it, but we also know the limitations. And what else would the Lakers be able to do, right? Obviously, with smaller contracts, right? Or guys that fit a little better, fit the timeline a little better, you know, you could actually swing that idea, but it just doesn't look good for the Lakers right now, man. Like, I'm looking at what they did defensively in the playoffs. Like, I have it right here. Defensive efficiency, they were 12th out of the 16 playoff teams, man. Bottom tier at a 116.7 in defensive efficiency. I don't think they can be a competent defense with Reeves and Luka having to be hidden on that end of the floor. It just makes things incredibly difficult because, okay, obviously they need a real rim protector. They need an athlete that can rim run to help Luka, right, in those pick and rolls, have that lob threat, that rim pressure from a big man. They don't have that right now. So that's something that they're in the market for sure when you have Luka Doncic. You know, and then you're looking at a LeBron going on 41 years old, who's an asset that you're reading isn't a good trade candidate. Like, from the Bobby Marks report, the trade market's not good for LeBron. And how could it be, right? Like, and it's not because he's not good. It's because they know that you're going to sign a guy that's either on his farewell tour or he's going to be gone the next season. And you're going to have to pay him a ton. You're also gambling and hoping that you win, like, that season that you trade for him, you know? So, and some teams also don't like the drama, the spotlight that comes with a LeBron James team, right? Like, you're bringing in the Rich Paul thing. It's just a lot that a lot of franchises, from what you read and what you hear, don't want to deal with, you know? And for better or worse, you know, LeBron has gone Every place LeBron has gone, he has won a championship, and that deserves a tremendous amount of respect. How he's gotten it is it's open for criticism to anyone that wants to criticize him, but the fact of the matter is he joins a team, he wins a title. He leaves a team and he leaves them in shambles, right? Like Cleveland has bounced in a nice way. They bounced back. The Heat bounced back shortly, right? They got a nice little Jimmy Butler window where they were very competitive, but now yikes, right? Like they weren't able to get it done, and they overachieved with some of the things they've done. That's a mess in and of itself, and it has nothing to do with LeBron at this point. That's a whole Pat Riley conversation. But, I'm comparing this to the Kobe thing because it just reminds me of the player on the backside of his career. He's on his final 1 to 2 seasons, and he's taking this massive amount of money from the franchise, even though it's an expiring contract because it's the picked up player option, and it's still going to hinder a team's ability to make real moves, And look, man, does the Luka LeBron combo work? Yes. Offensively, it absolutely works. These guys were picking teams apart. And by the way, Austin Reeves as that third offensive weapon, they were cooking teams because 3 guys that can put the ball down, make a decision, make a shot, make great passes, get to the rim, that is insane to have on offense. The problem is the other side of the ball, which OKC and the Indiana Pacers proved that obviously just like every other historic team, you need to be at least a top 5, top 10 offense and defense, right? Like that's got to be just a non-negotiable. You have to be able to get stops. You can't win with one side of the ball. It's just not possible. They've given us the example of, hey man, like offense may not be working, defense is going to do a ton of the work. And that was a great finals to watch. I also want to shout out the Thunder on this pod because I haven't even gotten the time to do that. So shout out to the Thunder, man. Very sad about the Halliburton injury. Never got to address that kind of stuff because we got the KD trade. I was away on a vacation. So it just all got mixed in. And there was an Orlando Magic trade. I did a pod for that. But look, man, I think the Lakers need to just move on. Move LeBron however you can. This has been going on for too long, in my opinion. And LeBron brought a championship to this team. You can talk about the Mickey ring, and it was in the COVID bubble ring, the Mickey Mouse ring, whatever people call it. But at the end of the day, he brought a championship to the team. If he wants to retire somewhere else, he wants to go compete for a title, it ain't going to happen with the Lakers. I mean, you're looking at it right now. It's going to be another like brand new group of players. And they're going to have to be figuring it out on the fly again, right? With an older LeBron, and, you're still trying to solve the big man problem. I just don't see a success window for the Lakers in like 1 year, right? Like this upcoming season. This really just needs to be a start, like a build-up again, like another startup, and you've already got the ultimate startup piece in Luka Doncic, one of the greatest offensive playmakers of this generation. An incredible weapon, absolute superstar when he's got it going. The question is always the fitness level, the health, right, the defense. So all you really need are guys that can defend, shoot the ball around Luka, and, obviously he needs a big man. LeBron has had a fantastic career, and he's still producing at an all-time level. He still is. You can say whatever you want, right? The diva, the drama, the complaining, doesn't matter. This guy's, 26, 7-7 still, right? With a great field goal percentage. One of the leaders in fast break points still to this day. Still playmaking, still outsmarting opposing defenses. Still having flashes of great defense, by the way. Doesn't do it night to night, but still chase down blocks from time to time. Deflections, steals, getting out and running, catching lobs. This guy has been an incredible player his entire career. It just didn't sit well with me when I see a guy just completely shitting on a franchise and just shitting on a roster that he is contributing to. He's really hindering them with what he's been doing. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I will catch you guys on the next one.